You see this right here? You see this right here, Notre Dame fans? You see this? Do you see this? This is what happens when people try to tell you things and none of you want to listen. Hi, I'm the Black Prion. And this right here is a message that only I can approve because it doesn't seem like anyone else wants to bring up this history lesson. Do you remember the illustrious, perfect offense that a certain team a few years ago used to have known as the Oregon Ducks? They used to score a point a minute. They blew out every team they played. They gave the people's elbow, the rock bottom, the kick to the nuts, the slap to the face, the spit to the cheek. They did whatever they could. They were fast. They were fluid. They were efficient. They were a machine that never needed oil, never got dry. They were always loose and they always pounded that end zone. Boy, did that sound dirty, but you know what I'm talking about. Then they played a team known as the Auburn Tigers and only scored 17 points. Let me tell you something. That offense, much better than Notre Dame's offense. Talking about Oregon's. Much better than Notre Dame's. That defense for Alabama, and this is for all the Alabama teams as of late, to me, from what I've seen, overall body of work, those defenses are better than that Auburn defense. So what did you people think was actually going to happen? Nobody wants to look at it like that. Another thing that I noticed here, Notre Dame fans, you keep saying, oh my God, Alabama got a few lucky breaks. They got a few calls that went their way. Lucky Alabama. Well, let me put this in terms that you can understand, Notre Dame fanboy. Notre Dame, yeah, they're that team that only got to the national championship because of, oh yeah, that's right, a few lucky calls. You know, go see the Stanford game, go see the Pitt game if you don't know what I'm talking about, but come on, if you're a Notre Dame fan, you watch the games, you know the aforementioned information, you know all the prerequisites to what I'm saying in my thesis. So, moving forward, we're going to talk about something a little bit more in detail here. Notre Dame. Your biggest wins, the biggest things that you got, that you Notre Dame fans talk about is, we beat the big, bad USC Trojans, who lost to Georgia Tech and lost 5 other games. Oh, we beat the legendary Stanford. Yeah, there's controversy over that game all over, up and down, and all around. Oh, yeah, we beat the Oklahoma Sooners. Yeah, so did Texas by 30 points, and then they almost lost to Oregon State, but then they pulled it off against Oregon State in a last-minute comeback. But Oregon State is a team that shouldn't even be considered to play for the national championship this year after what happened with their other games this season. But I'll let that be for you to decide because none of the teams are bad. They're just not in the league of Alabama. Now, am I one of those people that says, Alabama's the greatest team ever, I like my Mountain Dew? No. But it is obvious when a team is on a completely different tier, a completely different echelon, and a completely different scale than the other teams that they're playing against. And I'll tell you another thing. Remember back when it used to be Nebraska, Wisconsin, and all these teams winning national championships? What did you notice? They were big, they were physical, and they dominated the front lines. What did you think happened when the SEC got these big, fast, biscuit-eating, I don't know what to call them, mastodons, behemoths, whatever noun you want to throw in here? And when the SEC started getting a whole bunch of them, and then getting ones that can run, 4.40s, did you think the other teams were really going to stand a chance? No. The answer is you didn't. The answer is you didn't. Unless you were one of the people that smokes 4 pounds of weed a day, you didn't. Alright? And this is the result. This right here, this is the proof. The proof is in the pudding. Okay? The proof is right here in front of you. It is undeniable. That is 3x the score. They tripled your score. They tripled your score. Really? And as I said, your biggest wins were against teams that dropped the ball so many times, drop the soap on the national TV level, get blown out by Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech! And the other thing that Notre Dame fans get on my nerves about is when they talk about, well, we play conference play too. We have this little thing with the ACC. And I'm gonna expose this little love affair with the ACC you guys have. ACC, by far, out of all the quote-unquote major conferences, is by far the worst. They only have 2 teams that are even worth the single Ooh, excuse me. They're only worth the slightest damn. There's only two teams that are worth a single solitary thought. And they are the Clemson Tigers and the legendary, and yes, I'm actually going to call them legendary, Florida State Seminoles. Okay? And you found a way, Notre Dame, to not play a single one of them all season. What? Does that sound like a fanboy whose team just got exposed? It's true. You didn't play any of the two teams who were worth the slightest afterthought in that conference. You played all the little Mickey Mouse schools, but you didn't play them. Matter of fact, I don't even think you played the other team that was even part of the ACC championship, Georgia Tech. Your schedule is the main factor of why you were in this game. And no, this isn't going to be a peachy video where I'm just going to wrap it up right here and say, and hi, I'm the Black Brian, bye. No, because Alabama, I've got to talk about you guys too. Yeah, that's right, Alabama. This isn't a video just to stroke your already inflated egos. You guys shouldn't have even been here. I'm going to tell you why. If it wasn't for those bans that Alabama fans don't want to talk about, if it wasn't for those sanctions that Alabama fans don't want to talk about, when it comes to the Ohio State Buckeyes, yeah, you do realize you guys wouldn't have even been here had it not been for that. It would have been Notre Dame versus Ohio State. I wouldn't have cared who won because I hate Ohio State. Notre Dame's just been kind of they're just a thing. But, you know, Alabama, you wouldn't even been there. You would have been playing some lesser team in some bowl game no one cared about. You wouldn't have gotten national coverage. You wouldn't have had this big spectacle. You wouldn't be anything. Anything this year. No one would have cared. You'd been just like Georgia. Close, no cigar, haha, see you next season, bye. And just another afterthought, just another ghost of the past, just another team that coulda, woulda, shoulda, but didn't. But, you know, playoff system's going to fix all that. It's coming up in the year 2014. We got one more year of the bold BCS stuff going on here. And I can't wait for that. But this is appalling. This is sickening. This is a disgrace. This is ownage. This was on national TV, and everybody who doubted the SEC was waiting for Notre Dame to beat this team so everybody could shut up and say, yes, the SEC is inferior. The SEC has finally lost. The ACT is going to be one of the greatest teams ever. Yes, because we have Notre Dame, and we play the ACC, and now, and then they lost. They got their score triple. They got own-zoned. They got fatality. They got babality, okay? That is a babality right there. I'm the Black Prion, and I'm going to get out of your hair. If you don't like what I had to say, tell me in the comment section. Dislike the video. Tell me I'm a fat black guy who needs to learn how to actually talk right and be more proper and be more formal with his words and actually articulate his speech pattern. Or like this video, tell me, hey, you're a really great guy, subscribed, and all that crap. Or just say, lol, you're stupid.